Hello, everybody, and welcome to Encounter Roleplay. We are so happy to be here. Well, I don't want to speak for everybody, but I'm really happy to be here. And everyone else looks happy and a little terrified, but that's fine. Thanks everybody out there watching in the chat. So yeah, if you're watching with us live, we're happy to have you here. If you're watching this on YouTube from our future, be sure to join us live Sundays at 5 p.m. twitch.tv/encounterroleplay. That's 5 p.m. Eastern time, I guess, for everyone who doesn't live where I live. Who cares? Figure it out. So today we are playing another episode. I think we're on 7. I stopped putting the numbers in my notes, but I can't find my notes anyway, so that's fine. This is episode 7 of Apocalypse When. So before we get started, I'm going to tell you a little bit about our sponsors, because we have many wonderful ones with us this week. So the first one is Fantasy Grounds. Woo! Fantasy Grounds is our virtual tabletop of choice here at Encounter Roleplay. We love it. All of the dice rolls that you see happening today down in the corner over there are done using Fantasy Grounds, which you can try for free at fantasygrounds.com. It's a really great virtual tabletop. Try it out for free. And if you like it, you should get it. Tell them I sent you. I don't know who you would tell, but do your best. Our next sponsor is Wayland Games. They have miniatures, which you love. We all love. I love. You know you need them. You know you want them. Go to waylandgames.co.uk. Get yourself a huge range of D&D minis, Warhammer minis. Look at that wonderful mini. Yes. Minis are beautiful.
It's so pretty.
Get them from Wayland Games. You can go and get them for 20% off. So do that, because they're amazing. Don't let anyone tell you don't need more minis. You do. I said so. Tell them I sent you.
You don't have a problem, they have a problem.
Yeah.
All our sponsors are going to be like, who is this savvy person? Like, she's been bringing in a lot of business.
Me specifically. Another one of our sponsors is Tabletop Loot, who sell dice, which you also need more of for sure. They have wonderful dice for all your tabletop needs. As I punch my microphone, I'm having a very good day today, as everyone can tell. If you want some wonderful Tabletop Loot dice, once we hit 20 retweets on our live tweet for this show, which you can see in the chat here in just a second, because one of us will put it there. Once we hit 20 retweets on that tweet, we will give away a set of Tabletop Loot dice to someone that is in the chat. So if you want some free, amazing dice, retweet the tweet, tell your friends, tell your mom. She'll probably retweet it for you. You know, that kind of thing. And then finally, one more sponsor this week. Specifically, we are also sponsored by The Spy Game, which is very cool. The Spy Game is a D&D 5e compatible spy game, just what it sounds like, with action and espionage, clandestine organizations, and secret agencies. You take on the role of a spy, running intel and engaging in wet work to ensure the security of the world from corrupt governments and the evil machinations of rogue villains. So that's The Spy Game. It's coming to Kickstarter soon, and right now you can get the Quick Start PDF on DriveThruRPG, and it's free on there. The Quick Start PDF is. So head over to DriveThruRPG, check out the Spy Game Quick Start PDF, and check them out on Kickstarter once they get up, because it's a super cool thing, and you'll all love it. And I guess tell them I sent you. They don't know me either, but I feel like if I don't say it at this point, then the joke is ruined. In addition to that stuff, all of our sponsors, you can also interact directly with today's game. So if you donate to us here at Encounter Roleplay, you can directly affect the game. You can give players critical successes, critical failures, surges, all kinds of things. So if you want to directly affect the game, give us money, and we will give you fun things. But yeah, so if you are kind enough to donate, you can directly affect the game. And then finally, if anything happens that you like, or there's a moment that you want to share that you really enjoy, please clip it for us on Twitch so we can watch it and share it and put it in our highlights and put it on Twitter and all that fun stuff. That's my favorite thing to do after this game, is to watch clips of the game that people send. It's amazing. That is all of that stuff, and I'm going to stop rambling now. So quickly, we'll introduce ourselves to the people out there so you know who we are and what we're doing in this game, and then we will do pre-game stuff, and then we will start. So you've heard me talking for the last 20 minutes or so. Get ready, because there's going to be a lot more of it. I'm Savvy. I am the MC for this game, the Master of Ceremonies, which means I am running the show.
She in charge.
Doing my best. I am at Savvy Seaworth on all of the social medias, and that's pretty much it. I do a lot of streaming also at twitch.tv/GameNights, 2Gs and a K in Nights. That's where you can find me. And I run this place.
Yeah.
Rob.
Hello. I'm one of the many puppets in Savvy's inner machinations of her mind. It's a scary place to be, but I have fun here.
It is scary. I'm there all the time.
I'm Bonus Stage Rob, and I don't know how I'm going to introduce myself until it happens. So it's as surprising for me as it is for you. Anyway, you can find me here on Sundays being a fucking idiot. Or you can find me over at twitch.tv/bonus_stage_Rob, also being the aforementioned ass clown. I play games, not always TTRPG, but some of the video types with the sounds and the pew pews, and it's a whole time. So if you're looking for goofs and gaffs, that's where you can find me when I'm not here. LB, do the thing.
Cool. I'm LB Hackemup. You can find me at LB Hackemup on the tweets. I'm on a couple other channels, but I always retweet at least what channel I'm on. I'm portraying Maggie in a bit more literal sense today, so yeah, I posted a selfie. Like it. Here's GG.
I'm Graybeard of Graybeard's Tavern. Check me out on Twitter. My schedule's there. You can find I'm playing not quite as many games as LB, but I'm getting close. Anyway, and today I'll be our neighborhood gun lugger. We've got lots of props and toys to play with on my channel. So come check me out some other time. But for today, see Carla.
Hey! I'm Christina Sid. I'm at Greek Sid on the Twitters. And I'm playing Carla, our brainer, mind reader, weirdo, the American from the 60s, who's been gone. And I'm very curious to see how she comes back, and where, and in what circumstance. Hey!
Hey. All right. So I'm trying to see if I can pull my notes up on my phone.
Oh no.
I don't know what happened to them, but I think I'm just gonna fly without them. That's fine.
Hell yeah.
It'll be fine. So, very quickly, we shall do highlighting stats.
Oh yeah.
You each will pick the person on your sheet who has the highest history, and they'll highlight one of your stats. I'll highlight one of the others, or if you have a tie, then you can fight over it, I guess. Let's start with Verulo.
Oh gosh, it's me. Here I go. It's Carla, despite her not being here.
Yay!
From beyond reality,
From
Carla.
beyond the maelstrom. Yeah. I'm a team player. Sharp. Get your sharp on. You sharp.
Thanks,
you sharp,
baby.
Sharp. You're welcome.
All right. Let's do weird
Hell yeah.
for the other one.
Open your brain. All right. That's me. And then I get my 1 stock because I got a guy. I got a supplier now. Feels good. So I can heal
All right.
people more eventually.
Let's do Maggie.
Mine is Trigger.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then again, you gotta go weird.
Thank you.
Back your play.
Heck yeah.
Let's do hot for Maggie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. Traeger.
It is Verulo.
Hi.
Hey, Sailor. Hard, my dude. Because you're making me.
Always.
I love
Romance,
it
you
so.
say?
What?
Yay. Let's do Traeger's cool.
All right.
Okay.
The other one. And Carla.
Mine is actually also Traeger.
No. Then it also. Wait, you work off of weird also, don't you? Yeah. So I'm with the weird. I was like, Maggie was weird. No, you're both weird.
Yeah, we're just both weird. It's okay. we own it. We use it to our advantage. We're both weird. It's okay. All right.
Let's do Carla's sharp.
Oh, that's funny.
So yeah, as a friendly reminder, since it has been 2 weeks since we did this, any of your highlighted stats that you roll with, no matter what the outcome is, you get an XP for that. And then any rolls that you fail, you get an XP for that. So
I'm not
Mark
gonna do that
those.
for a fail.
mark those XPs. And so, unless anyone else has anything else we need to do, we did fortunes for Maggie. No one else has a thing. That's right, no one else has a thing. All right, then we will get started. So, where last we left off, the 4 of you had been transported to 1962, Las Vegas. In the days before Carla actually joined your team for the first time. You were given sort of vague instructions by Era to save Carla, not really being sure what that meant. Some adventures were had, some people were kidnapped, some hotel rooms were stolen by ghosts. It's been a pretty wild time in Vegas so far, but that's usually how it goes. So ultimately, you discovered that one of the people that was part of past Carla's entourage, Ronald, was actually in contact with who you are assuming to be a future version of Sergeant Traeger. You captured him, you took him hostage, essentially, took the package that was given to him by this other Traeger and proceeded to set a trap for the other versions of yourselves, particularly Traeger and Maggie. As this trap was sprung, some blows were exchanged, Maggie taking a particularly rough knock to the brain, not doing super well at this point. And in, I think, the final moments before we called it last time, you all saw this other version of Sergeant Traeger opening fire on the 3 of you. So we're going to pick up right in that moment as he raises this automatic weapon and starts to open fire on the 3 of you. How do you react?
We were in cover, right?
They had rocks and I
yes.
had a car.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
So
Yeah.
Trigger's behind the car of Verulo. You were with Maggie, having just administered a little bit of healing to keep her from being unstable.
Yeah.
So you have some cover. bullets are flying, especially for Traeger. I think you can hear these bullets starting to like rip through the doors of the car. There's dust kicking up as he is sort of firing wildly at the three of you.
As soon as I can, I return fire.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm
wait,
gonna have
wait,
you.
wait. No, I need to kill Maggie, the other future Maggie. I guess I go prone. I go prone and try to get
Okay.
a better shot at future Maggie.
Okay, all right, so you go prone and you sort of aiming underneath one end of the car towards her. I'm going to have you roll to go aggro on someone.
3. Grab dice.
All right, yeah, with a 14. Let's see. How much harm do you deal?
4.
Jeebus. Okay.
And this is like the second time that I've hit her, so hopefully.
Yeah. She's, I think you go prone on the ground, sort of firing under the front end of the car towards her, and you see the bullets connecting. This time, I think she is ready for you, and so you can see around her. Some of them do pierce through it, but there is a little bit of a warbling as there is this field that is sort of around her as she's trying to protect herself from your fire. So she is, you do wing her pretty good. She is, I think you can now see from one side of her sort of blood starting to pool out of those robes. And as you do this, she, being able to see where the bullets are coming from, sort of turns your way and starts to quickly make her way toward you. But before she can get to you, you all hear this loud popping sound and a flash of light occurs in sort of midair, right in between Traeger, where you are at the car, and this other Maggie. Carla, I'm gonna have you go ahead and roll plus weird.
Okie doke. Do 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 do.
Sorry, was that the hamster dance?
No,
It's a hoedown.
I believe it's from
Yes.
the 1960s Robin Hood with the foxes.
Oh,
Actually,
okay.
Okay.
I'm
That's a
showing my
tan.
age.
It is a 10. All right, that is great. So with a 10, Carla, you essentially have just been instructed that you need to get back as quickly as possible because there is some sort of disturbance happening with the rest of your team. That's the information you got. So you all three, the three of you that are there, hear this popping, see this light as this rift opens up, and Carla comes very quickly stepping out of it onto the sand of the Las Vegas desert. What you immediately hear are gunshots, maybe some sort of shouting between some people, and behind you is a car that has been riddled with bullets, and in front of you is a person you have seen before in these dark clothes and this gold mask barreling toward you.
okay. She's just gonna yell, "What in the fuck have you been doing since I've been gone?" Okay. What can I do here? Can I? I'm gonna do a direct brain whisper projection. I'm gonna roll weird instead of rolling for aggro. They can
Okay.
see me, I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah, she can see you all right.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
Oh boy, this is gonna be fun. That's an 11.
Okay. Yeah, so let's see. Deep brain scan on a 10 plus hold 3.
Oh, so it's the direct brain whisper
Yeah.
projection.
Oh, the one below it.
Yes.
All right. So, let's see. How much harm does that do? Does that do harm?
Looks like it
harm?
does. I think so. I've never successfully used it before. Let me pull this up.
Yeah, you're good.
There we go. I think it may actually just be. It says if they go to force your hand, it's definitely a 1. Let me find Brainer.
Okay.
There you
Yeah, sure.
go.
So if we're treating this as going aggro but with weird, then you have succeeded. So I think let's see. Gotta get these moves all in one place. So yeah, so they either have to force your hand and suck it up, or cave and do what you want. But I think she is going to force your hand and not stop. Do you have to touch her to do this?
No, she just has to be able to
Nope.
see me.
Okay. All right. So as she is sort of barreling toward what was Traeger, what is now you, as quickly as she can, you show up in front of her, and she is not going to stop. She sort of has her eye on where she needs to go, and so as she approaches you, you connect with her psychically, and you can feel this sort of pulse of energy go from you to her, and she is set off balance. She does take some harm from that. So I think you all can see her kind of grab the sides of her head a little bit as she is stopped for a second, off balance. Verulo and Maggie, what are the two of you doing?
So are we still both like completely concealed? Like, can we see anything?
If you stick your head out from around the
that's
rock.
fair. I mean, I imagine we heard Carla yelling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you know enough. I think you heard the sound,
Yeah.
you saw some of the light, and then you heard
Yeah,
Carla
okay.
asking, what have you been doing?
When she screams, just kind of. I'll be honest, I'm not sure if that's our Carla or they just called for reinforcements.
Well, if they're trying to kill her, then she wouldn't be here. Watch
Well,
my
yes,
back.
but where are you going?
And she just kind of like closes her eyes, and as they open, they're just bright green. And
Okay.
she's gonna open her mind to the psychic maelstrom and try to connect with other Maggie.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, so roll plus weird.
Have a little private conversation here. That's an 11.
Y'all are rolling like fire today. All right, let's
Wham.
hope it keeps
Yeah.
up. You're not going to level up, but you're also probably not going to die, so...
Hey, it's a trade.
As you will. Yeah, so Maggie, as you tell Verulo to watch your back, closing your eyes for a moment and then opening them and opening your mind to this psychic maelstrom, the energy that is out there. You reach out and search for this other consciousness, and it's not hard for you to find because it feels a lot like you. Maybe a little different, but enough that you recognize it, and you reach out mentally and you latch on to the mind of this other Maggie, and for just a moment it feels like time has stopped and you're kind of in this like suspended state, and Carla and Traeger, you also see this other Maggie as she is kind of regaining herself, stops, just like frozen.
Yes.
Maggie, what do you say to her?
I just want to know why. If you are me, tell me why.
I think in her head you hear a little bit of a laugh, almost. And she says, "Why do you think?"
Did he ask us to do this?
motorbikes. You always wanted to be in charge, Maggie. I've just done it for you.
I've been in charge for a long time. I've had power for a long time. Doing this, doing what you're doing, is exactly the opposite of what we're trying to do. So tell me, if this is what I'm supposed to be doing, convince me.
I think after a second, I think you can, you almost feel her kind of searching around, and then you feel a little bit of energy coming back toward you through this connection. And after a second, she doesn't say anything else, but in front of your eyes, you see these kind of flashes of images, and you see yourself, assuming that this is her. You see her with Traeger, with Carla, with Verulo. You see them initially kind of doing some work for Era. You see these flashes of things that you sort of remember that are maybe like odd versions of memories that you might have. But then things start to change. You see flashes of her speaking to a woman you've never seen before. You can see these moments where she is surrounded by followers like you have. Many, many more followers than you have ever had. There is this moment of her sort of sitting there conversing with a shadowy figure, and behind her there are just hundreds and hundreds of these forms of people that are following her. And you can feel this like growing sense of this energy and this power that you are familiar with because it's inside you too. But it is almost too much. She is much more powerful than you have ever been, and you can feel this almost like burning inside you as she shows you these images and these memories that she now has of becoming more and more powerful and sort of exceeding what you have done. And then all at once it stops, and she doesn't say anything else.
Maggie is going to kind of just say, "That is very tempting. How did I get this way?"
She sort of laughs again, and I think she says, "That is something you're going to have to find out for yourself." And there is this blast of energy, and the connection snaps. And you are not hurt, but sort of blown back a little bit, a little disoriented, but no worse for wear.
Verulo rushes forward, seeing that she's been kind of blown back a little bit. Just, what happened? What happened?
We're in a lot of trouble. And then she's gonna yell to Carla to get out of there, which I will not do because I don't want to yell in my household right now. But okay.
So yeah, in this moment, the other Maggie's still kind of frozen in place. I think Carla, you're close enough to her under her mask. I think you can see her eyes are closed and sort of darting back and forth. And then after a second, she opens them again, and they are flaring this like green color. And Traeger, you're sort of seeing this from far away. You've seen her stop where she is from under the car.
I'm going to listen to Maggie and get the fuck out of there. Isis has no armor. Isis is very squishy. Isis is going to get out of there.
Okay. As you are running, I'm gonna have you roll to do something under fire, because you are quite literally under fire right now by a large man with a large gun, who has sort of seen you appear, this other version of Traeger, and has turned his attention towards you and is gonna fire in your direction.
Oh boy. Okay.
That is a roll plus cool. Unless you have something that
Carla
changes it.
has no chill. No, Carla has no chill. Come on. Oh boy. But that's a 10!
Okay.
You
Yeah, so very good. So on a 10 plus, you do it. So hearing Maggie's call and sort of realizing the situation you're in, and seeing this other version of Traeger sort of turn his sights on you, you run for your life. Where do you go?
Am I able, what's closer? I guess what cover is available close to me at this point?
The car that's behind you, I think, is the closest.
Okay. She will, like, literally Dukes of Hazzard, like, slide over and get the fuck down there.
Okay, all right. So you slide over the hood of the car, running, sort of able to dodge out of the way. Carla's dialed in today, and able to keep yourself for the moment from getting shot. You slide over Traeger. You see Carla come sliding over the hood of the car, landing on the ground next to you as bullets fly.
And so now do I have another shot at Maggie or not?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
All
I think your Maggie has put her in a very vulnerable position right now.
So I leveled up with that last hard shot. I took a move from another book, which is the Battle Babe book, and
I love that.
so I do one more extra harm, and I'm going to put another bullet in her.
All right. Yeah. Roll to go aggro.
Come on now. There it is.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. I think. Yeah. All right. That's how much harm do you do? 5?
5. Yes.
Oh my gosh! What have you done? What have you created? So yeah, I think as Maggie, as this conversation finishes and these images have left your mind in the last moments of this psychic connection, you hear a loud gunshot ring out above the rest, and Traeger, you hit your mark, center mass, right in right where her heart would be. And Maggie, at that moment, you hear this gunshot ring out, and it hits her, and that connection that you have with the other Maggie is broken, and you are sort of blasted back. And the two of you that can see, unless Verulo and Maggie, you are looking around, but it seems like you're sort of tending to each other a little bit. Traeger and Carla, you see the bullet hit. And it rips through her clothes and her chest and through, goes out the other side of her, and she stands for a moment. And then you kind of see her knees buckle underneath her, and she falls. She doesn't get up. And from even Verulo and Maggie, I think especially you can hear this because I think you're a little bit closer to him. You hear this guttural sort of yell from the other side of your rock as the bullets stop flying for a moment, and you can see this other version of Traeger take off toward her, running toward her and scooping her up off the ground, and he starts to take off running towards the car that they arrived in with her.
Okay. Things that can be done. Shoot.
Anyone want to react?
I don't have things from far away. I can do they can do the thing again and like give him one, but that's about it. If someone wants to take him down and I can get my hands on him, then I can get more info. But
And can I shoot, move, or is my action? I gotta wait for everybody else at this point.
You can, yeah. Is Verulo and Maggie from behind your rock? I assume you look out to see what has happened since the bullets have stopped flying. Do either of you want to react? It's pretty clear.
I'm just kind of grabbing at my own chest, like.
Yeah. I imagine
loops or strings.
Yeah, I imagine in that blast you felt when it snapped, it didn't hurt you, but I think you kind of felt it in your chest a little bit, like maybe the wind is knocked out of you a little bit. So that's probably a little distressing.
Then I guess Traeger will go. He was keeping his focus, keeping his cool. He'll totally rage Traeger out and like.
Don't kill him. Keep him alive. I need to talk to him.
Okay, step on the car and basically launch himself through the air and just start, long stride trying to catch himself. And the other Maggie. I'm gonna try to
running after him. Oh boy. This is probably we'll say this is going aggro on someone. I think as you run after him to try to take him down.
Oh no. Ooh.
Okay. So that is a 7. On a 7 to 9, they can choose. What about the following? Barricade themselves securely in sounds like a good one. So I think you are running after them, but he has a head start on you, and even carrying Maggie makes it to this car before you can get to him, and is able to sort of get her in it. And as you are catching up with the car, he is starting it and punching the gas, and they are driving out into the desert.
No one can get in his head or put ghosts in on him or anything.
Not without touching him.
All right. Well, Traeger, misses the car, rolls up, and he's trying to take down the car, by emptying his Magnum pistol into it.
So you're just firing at the car?
Yeah. Trying to take out the vehicle.
Sure, yeah. So, I'll roll forward that aggro roll because it's a partial success. So say you miss the car, he's able to get in the car and get the car started. But you start unloading on this car. A couple of the tires pierce and start to go flat. And the car is rolling, not nearly at the speed that it would have been had you not unloaded a magazine into it, but he is doing his best, it seems, to get out of here.
And how did we get out here?
We have a car.
You drove.
We have one.
But it's been shot to shit.
It's full of bullets.
But Carla's out here, right? Other Carla.
Is she,
So there must
she
be
about to
another
be?
car.
She is not quite yet. But as this happens, you do hear another car. This is a good place to drop this in. You do hear another car engine sort of pulling up nearby. And Carla, you know whose car that is. It's yours.
Oh no.
Yeah, so you see a couple of cars pulling up that are going to have you and whoever you were able to convince to come see the nuclear detonation, the nuclear test. That's going to have you and your friends in them. So you can hear the engines, you can see the cars sort of pulling up. And then Traeger, you can see other Traeger in the car sort of frantically dialing in on this communication device that he has. So
Maggie's gonna touch her neck to communicate with Traeger. We're out of time. Get back here. You're not to be seen.
Traeger turns around and is like, Oh, I hate those. Long.
Okay. All right. So you bound away at Maggie's behest. The other three of you are hiding, and as these car engines get closer, you can all see from this other car a flash of light. And the two people that were in it, Maggie and Traeger, are gone.
Well, shit.
All right. So as this is happening, these other two cars are pulling up and sort of parking a little ways away from where you are, and you all see Carla and whoever. Was anyone? Were you able to convince anyone to come with you?
A handful of people, but I think even then, at their foggiest, they were mainly trying to make sure that she didn't go too far, which of course they were not able to stop her from doing. So yeah, I think they were attempting more to be on babysitting duty than anything else. But yeah, a couple other people.
Makes sense. Oh, and I almost forgot about poor dear Ronald, who's still tied up out in the sand. So I assume probably on your way back, Traeger, you grab him.
Yeah.
He's alive. He's fine. But he is still kind of hogtied in the sand. Boy, I forgot about him almost immediately.
What was he still in the car though?
No, hadn't you guys like laid him out?
Yeah, you guys had brought him out of the
Okay.
car. He's probably like near it somewhere, just like trying his best not to pee himself. But I think he's all right. So you can kind of drag him with you as you see these cars pull up a little ways away, and Carla and a few other people get out of them and laughing and talking and things like that, and doing general shenanigans as you hide and watch them. And Carla, you see yourself take the same path that you had before when you came to watch the detonation.
This is very strange. I will not lie.
Honestly,
Hell.
just seeing something return to a sense of normalcy is enough for me. As long as you see the detonation and we saved your life, what the hell are we going to do now?
We have to count on the fact that past us has taken care of it. And Carla, you're behind the car, I imagine, hiding with him, so he's just shaking. He's utterly wants to like shred things.
The car is rather useless right now. You'd be welcome to take a couple swipes at it, soldier. You know, get that aggro out. Mm-hmm.
We're not supposed to be soon. And he's
Can I take a peek over the side of the car? Are all of our friends like heading in the opposite direction?
Yep. Yeah, they are heading off in the direction that you remember. It seems like they are slowly walking away from you, gallivanting through the desert.
They're over there.
Traeger does. He just crushes in the door with a few swats as he's trying to bring it down.
Communicate with the others. Traeger just needs a moment, and then I think our work here is done. Then I can tell you all about my last encounter. Oh, it was lovely. Anyway, well, another minute or so.
All right. So after a moment, yeah.
Oh no, I was just gonna turn to Maggie and just say, you were able to reach her?
I was.
Did she give you any indication of what the hell is going on?
She gave me an indication, but I don't understand why. I understand why. I don't know how she got so far away from where I am now. But if it makes any difference, I think it is us from the future. Loopy, I believe, was the term.
That makes me feel worse about what just happened. Is there any way we can, I don't know, change our course now that we know what we know? Is this all set in stone?
I think us interacting with ourselves from the past and the future is, in a way, changing things already. But I don't know. I don't know.
Well, maybe Carla will have some answers then once Traeger is done with his therapeutic experience.
And I guess you would see non-rage Traeger toting along Ronald, coming towards
Best
you
buddy
guys behind
Ronald.
the rocks.
All right, so the four of you, well, the five of you, with Ronald in tow, regroup. What would you like to do?
Or leave Ronald a ways off so we can see him, but he'll have a hard time telling exactly what we're saying.
Are we close enough that we should maybe GTFO so we don't, like, get exploded?
We didn't technically cross the fence, and he points
Did
to
we?
the...
Oh, I was asking MC. Are we close enough? Sorry,
You think, I mean, theoretically, you should be fine. If you wanted to be further away just for safety. You're also going to have to sort of time out when Carla's friends are going to be returning to their cars as well.
Should we go then?
We could probably, if we did it right, we could probably take one of their vehicles. And he's looking at everyone.
Do we have to go back to town for anything?
The only reason I would have had was to pursue them, but it looks like we'll have to make another shot down the line sometime.
I mean, we could stay long enough to make sure that our Carla gets picked up by us. You know,
I've seen enough of myself today, so I don't think I need to do that.
Would Aaron know at this point whether things are evened out? Could you send a communique?
It's already what she's saying, and he's already starting.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you send off a message to Era to sort of confirm that the timeline has been set straight for this period. After a moment, you receive a communication back. So it seems like your communications are all back up now. You receive a communication back that says that essentially confirms that this part has been set straight. That Carla is going to get to where she needs to go. And they have also told you to hold your position and await further instructions.
They say to hold. Gives us some time to think, I guess.
Traeger, there's
Yeah.
something we could do to check to see if it's really us from the future.
Yeah.
You're the only one that we've seen besides myself, and I don't know if we're going to be running into me again. Would you be comfortable with us scarring you so that we could tell if it affects the future versions of ourselves?
And he points at his mug, and he's got the 3 huge claw marks across his face, and he's like, couldn't hurt.
Oh, I'm sure it will hurt, but is it okay?
Yeah, go for it.
Carla takes one of her knives out of her boot and like holds it up.
He's like, make it something cool.
Okay. What am I? I can practice my calligraphy, I suppose. What am I writing?
Maggie's just kind of like, she meant his arm, but like, okay,
I don't care where.
Well, we're gonna see his
face.
face. We might not see his arms. He'll have a
true,
communicator
I
or whatever.
guess.
So.
Oh, I'm scoring your face.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
That's why he put his head forward. Like, go ahead. You can't mess up his ugly mug anymore. As far as he's concerned.
There. All right. What am I writing?
I mean,
or just make it a triangle or something. I don't know.
it's all good.
All right. Hold still. Just gleefully sort of leans in. She will draw a triangle. Sure. Seems fairly
Okay.
straightforward.
Sammy is so perturbed.
This is fascinating. Okay. I love it. I love everything about it. This is a great plan. All right. So you where is this on your face, Trigger?
Up here. Up here.
Like up above an
Left
eye
forehead.
or on like a temple?
Yeah,
Okay.
Where his hair is furthest back from the claw marks. Like if you look at the
Okay.
drawing, he's
Yeah.
kind of swiped aside like I have it. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So with nary a care in the world, Carla carves a large triangular mark into Traeger's forehead. That's a weird sentence to have to say to your players. Very good. I love this plan. It's very good. I'm a big fan of it. So you do this, and Traeger probably barely flinches, if at all.
Mhm.
I assume.
Focus. Yeah.
I'm gonna. No, I was gonna make you roll for it, but I don't think I'm going to. I think you have time to do this. I think you're not necessarily under fire right now, so you can sort of carefully work on this for a few minutes. And Carla, you finish making your mark. Traeger, you now have a large bloody triangle on your forehead.
All right.
I
Beautiful.
grab Traeger's chin and like turn it to the rest of them. How's that? Fairly symmetrical, straightforward.
Oh God! At least let me sanitize it.
No, the point is to have a scar. Leave it.
Did you?
The blade is clean. It'll be fine.
It was in your
Okay.
boot.
I clean it regularly. I mean, I just used to get a day. Well, other day on my last mission. So I cleaned it. It's fine.
Yes. Well,
Maggie's
speaking
gonna
of, what?
I was just saying, Maggie's gonna sit down. She's gonna open herself up to the psychic maelstrom and see when she senses herself, her other self, to make sure that everything's on track.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and roll plus weird.
Very cool.
Okay, that's a 13. So yeah,
Woohoo!
you sit down and focus for a few minutes, sort of waiting, and sort of reaching out in the general direction that you know where you appear. For a few minutes, there is nothing, but then after a moment, something sort of pops up on the edge of your radar, as it were, and you very briefly feel this connection to a slightly younger version of yourself.
She'll cut it off.
Okay. All right.
Anything?
Oh yes, we're everything's fine. It's going as intended.
Did you feel further down you, or back before you, or both?
I felt a younger version of myself.
Oh, they're picking other me up. Okay, well that's good, but not other you.
I felt other me take a bullet to the heart.
Oh,
Sorry about that, but you are the most dangerous.
arguably this is true.
I have a question, MC.
Mm-hmm.
When I opened up my mind just now, did I feel any of the followers that other Maggie left behind?
What an interesting proposal.
It's how she did it the whole time.
What did you roll for your fortunes again?
It was way at the beginning, and I exited out of it. I think it was 11.
Yeah.
And you picked growth, right?
I did, ironically.
You do. I think sort of around the edge of this.
Little children, I'll take thee away.
Yeah, I think sort of at the edge. How many followers do you have now?
I think it was like 20.
Okay, that sounds right to me. I think around the sort of edge of this battlefield, this area where you are. I think if you sort of reach out and open up a little bit more broadly, and I think you start to feel something very, very similar to your followers. They're sort of positioned in little clusters, like of 2 or 3, kind of around, almost encircling this area where this firefight just went down. There's about 15 of them.
Maggie will reach out to them in her mind. Maggie knows how much of an actual conscience they have in the afterlife, and she is going to basically attempt to override them so that they follow her instead. So, like, I am her. It's me. Come to me. Like, here I am.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, there's not a roll for convince ghosts that you're their new mom. So,
Weird.
I think it's plus weird. I think that's weird.
I feel like that would come up more often here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to have a
It'll
word with the
be
people
in
who
the
wrote this
next
rule book.
edition. It's gonna be in the next edition. It's cool.
It's a manipulation, you know?
Yeah,
We
yeah, this is fine.
So, 10.
Oh, all right. Well, you rolled a 10, and that's great. That's a full success. So yeah, I think you sort of reach out and connect with them the way that you do with your other followers, and they seem to recognize you. And they don't. I mean, they don't do much. They don't. They don't like scream or anything like that. But I think they maybe are a little confused at first, but kind of settle in, and you can sort of feel them slowly kind of integrating in with the others that you have. Congrats, you have 35 ghosts now.
Just that follower count just going on up.
I know,
going on
right?
up.
Yeah.
You have to do it. We're gonna have to do a dice giveaway soon. Come on now.
Smash that follow button.
Ghost follow for ghost follow. You have to promise that upon your death, you follow them back.
Mhm.
All over Valo.
Yeah, that's not gonna
All
happen.
right.
But thank you.
Yeah, but I think you can feel them kind of integrating slowly into the fold. And there might be more out there somewhere. You don't know.
Yeah.
She had a lot.
Yeah, she
So-
did. Okay. Who? Okay, I leveled up, so I'm gonna choose a new follower thing. Anyways,
Cool.
Yes.
All right. While you're doing that, is there anything else any of the rest of you would like to do while you wait? And wait.
Yeah, I wanna.
Do we have to wait here for Era? I mean, could we go back to the hotel? Because now that I found out that Janet stole my hat, I really would like to bring it back with me, because that bitch deserves it. So, could we at least go back to the hotel and get all my clothes? That would be really nice. We don't have to. It's just a suggestion. I mean, we're just waiting here.
Well, okay, situationally, is there a vehicle? Even the
Yes.
shot up one that. Okay, all right. So we'll.
Yes, yeah. When
Com-
Carla,
commandeer.
yeah. When Carla and her friends showed up, they showed up in two other cars. So you theoretically have two working cars.
Let's take my car. I'm not coming back for it.
Sounds like a plan. Let's do this.
what did Verla
Carla?
want to do?
Oh yeah.
Oh
I'm
yeah, I
sorry.
just wanted to ask Carla about your day. It's fine. I care about you, but by all means, go get clothes. I just wanted to know how you were feeling.
I'll tell you in the car. Let's go. I'll tell you all about it.
Segues. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. It's like on the drive, I just want to be like, so where exactly did they send you?
So the reason they needed me was because I'm the closest to this era. It's really only a couple years in the future from now. We were in 1969, and there was this cultural event that needed to happen, but some people were dragging their feet, and some certain things needed to happen. So I implanted some suggestions into these Fogarty brothers' brain that they would do this very large musical venue. And that just sort of like domino affected a bunch of other people to play this venue. And then, well, the venue was extremely expensive, so I just helped a bunch of very lovely people break through some fences. So then it was free, and it was a lot of fun.
For music.
So this had nothing to do with what we are working on.
No, not at all. They just thought I might be the right person for the job.
At least you had a
It went on without a hitch, from what I understand.
That's good. I'm very happy for you.
No, I've never even really been to that far north New York, so it was lovely.
All
Okay.
right. So Carla tells you of her grand day out at Woodstock, as the four of you. We'll just assume, Carla, you'd still have your car keys for some reason. And-
Or they were so high that they left them in the
or they
ocean.
left them. Either one will work fine. I'm not going to question it too closely. Time travel. So the four of you, regaled by Carla, of all these wonderful stories from the festival, make your way back to the hotel and up to your hotel room. Is there anything any of you want to do now that you're here? Carla, you go and retrieve your hat and the rest of your clothes.
Mm-hmm. And, anything else, still hanging out in the hotel room, because why not? It's there, so.
Sure, yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. You know what you brought, so.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Yep. All right, so you gather your things together. The other three of you, is there anything else you want to do? Okay.
No,
All
I'm
right.
just pretty quiet.
Okay. Sure. So in a relatively quiet hotel room, Carla, you've gathered up the rest of your things. You all wait, and you wait, and you wait. And about an hour goes by, and at this point, you're pretty sure that everything that was supposed to happen has happened. Nothing has gone terribly wrong. This Carla, has not, like, changed or disappeared or become, a different person or gotten a new haircut or anything like that. So, you wait for about an hour, and after this time passes and you're sitting in this hotel room, you are all, just sort of sitting around, mostly quietly. You hear a sound coming from the window, which has a fire escape outside it. And as this happens, you hear a sort of clicking sound outside, and then the window slides open. And a couple of people start climbing in through your window. Traeger ready to defend you, but you recognize them as they come in, or rather you recognize the garb that they are wearing. They are from Era. 4 of them sort of climb in from the fire escape through the window, kind of dusting themselves off. 3 of them looking a little bit irritated at one of the others, as if maybe they weren't supposed to land on the fire escape outside, but rather in the room. But they sort of climb through. They salute the 4 of you, and then one of them, the one at the front, tells you that they are here to speak with you on behalf of Era and give you your next set of instructions. But the man at the front says, I think you're going to want to sit down for this one. And kind of gestures to the beds and the chairs.
This is new. Usually we get our instructions electronically.
Yeah, well, this was a special case, ma'am. So, boy, this is awkward. And before the 4 of you can react, the 4 of them reach out towards you with these small implements, sort of stick-like, about this long, almost like maybe like a large ballpoint pen or something. You all feel a prick here in the center of your forehead, and everything goes dark.
Motherfucker!
I was worried about this.
And the world goes dark for 4 of you. After a while, you start to come to. The world in front of your eyes is still dark and swimming a little bit. Traeger, I think you're relatively familiar with these tranquilizing utensils that they have used on you, probably having used a few on people yourself before. But the 4 of you, as you start to come to, you each are alone in a very small room, one arm chained to a wall.
Lovely.
Can I reach my boot?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with your other arm you can.
Are my knives there?
Nope.
Damn it. Do I have anything, like, am I still in the same clothes that I was in before?
Yeah. Yeah. Everything seems pretty much the same, but you don't have any of your things with you, your implements.
Maggie's gonna reach up to her chain, and she is going to use her feat, Things Speak, and she's gonna roll plus weird to figure out some things about this if she can. Which she can. Thank you, Maggie.
She can, yeah. What things can you figure out?
Who handled this last before me?
Who handled this last before you? Yeah, I think you.
Who chained her in it? I guess.
Yeah. I think you reach up and grab the chain and focus your energy in on it, and you see one of the 4 era officers that you saw in your hotel room.
Which one?
The blonde one.
Male, female?
I'll say it was a blonde woman, kind of hair pulled back in a tight bun, probably a little bit taller than you, built a little stoutly, kind of strong. Yeah, maybe in her late 30s.
Okay. What words have been said most recently or nearby this?
Ooh. This is such a cool ability.
I know. Thanks.
Coming back as a savvy head.
This is amazing. So yeah, holding on to the chain. I think you hear her voice, and she is kind of conversing with another officer. One of the other ones that is standing outside in the hall. I think you get these flashes of like almost as if this chain has memory in a way. And I think you hear them. They're not discussing much, but I think you hear her mention the one out in the hallway. I think is saying is asking her, I mean, do we really have to chain him up like it? And is sort of conflicted about what is happening, and I think she finishes shackling you to the wall and says, "Orders are orders." And they walk out, and as the conversation fades away, I think you can hear him sort of pushing back against it a little bit, saying, "I mean, it's like this doesn't feel right." As they walk off down the hallway.
Okay. And then my other question is, what is wrong with this and how might I fix it? Are there any imperfections in this?
Interesting.
Is this a savvy head ability?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is.
I picked savvy head for one of my other skills too,
It's
because their
such a
abilities
good
are dope.
flavor.
It's
I
really
know.
great.
I was
If
so
I die,
torn.
that's what I'm coming back as. So
Yeah.
it's
So cool.
I was gonna
It's-
take
yeah.
the bone feat instead of the extra harm because I'm like, oh my god, you could just fix things. It's-
Mhm. They're super slick. What is wrong with this? Yeah, so I think looking over it as you hold on to the chain, you can feel a little bit of almost like warmth kind of emanate through it, almost kind of like you're scanning with your weird brain the chain, and I think up near where it is attached to the wall, I think you can tell that this hasn't been used very much, which has sort of left a little bit of rust and imperfections kind of in the bolts where it's attached to the wall. Like maybe they don't use this very much, so it's not very well kept.
All right. That's it.
Okay, so as the 4 of you start to come to consciousness, realizing what is happening, getting your heads back and your vision back a little bit, each in your own room with one arm chained to a wall, Maggie starting to search for answers. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. So everyone can have a quick bio break, stretch, refresh ourselves, refresh our drinks, all of that good stuff, and think about what you would like to do when we get back in just a couple of minutes. So yeah, thanks everybody for hanging with us, and we will be back very shortly. Hello again, everybody. We're back. Thank you so much for hanging out with us while we took a quick break and went and got a kitten. Which is the most important part of what's happening right now. Okay, before we hop back in, Maggie, I do want to resolve whether or not you received any more healing, because I did forget to ask while you all were taking rest. So Maggie's currently at 9 o'clock on the harm clock. Anything past 9 o'clock, if you receive any more harm past that, you would be considered unstable and you would get worse over time unless you received legit medical attention. So you had some time while you were in this hotel room. Essentially, anything up to 6 o'clock will heal sort of with rest. So if you were to be healed one more, that would take you down to 6 o'clock. And then over the course of that sort of rest and recuperation that you have had, those would go away and you'd go back to 0.
Yeah, so here's where I'm confused though, because she just said that she took 4 harm initially.
Yes.
Yes. So each pie is a piece of harm. So the first 3
Oh,
quarters are 1 harm each.
that's what was fucking me up. Okay,
It's a
I
little-
thought
it's a
they
little
went.
confusing.
Okay, because I was like, no, you should only be at like 4 o'clock. You should be
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Boy,
yeah. So
when you
each-
play the
each
healer,
harm-
kids, you should probably understand how the health mechanic works in the game, huh? Man, oh man, I would have
totally
healed you
fine.
much sooner. Oh my god.
Totally fine. That's why I wanted to take a second so we could all get on the same page. It confused the heck out of me the first time I played it too. So yeah, so we've got that harm clock that is split up into sections. Each time you take a harm, it's one of those sections. So you can go to
They're split
3,
up in different shapes, Rob.
and then you can
Okay,
go to 6.
understood.
And then anything that is 6 o'clock and below, if you have a little bit of time to like rest and recuperate, those go away and you're back to 0. Up to 9. You're not getting any worse, but you're not getting any better. Anything past 9 o'clock is unstable. And you've got 3 ticks after that. And once you get back around to 12 on the clock, life has become untenable. So Maggie is currently at 9 o'clock. Or she would have been after that encounter sort of happened. So she's not getting any worse. She's also not getting any better. So if you would have wanted to help patch her up a little bit more, you could have spent, theoretically, another one of your stock that would put her down to 6, and then given a little bit of time to recuperate, she would go back down to 0.
MC, I would have done that.
Yeah, I think you would have done that. Let's say you did that.
Okay, thanks.
No, it's totally fine. It's a little bit confusing.
Completely
So
misunderstood. No, and honestly,
good.
now that you say that, like the segments make sense because it was like, oh, that's weird that they're shaped the way they are.
yeah, I
I'm
feel like I
smart
did
and
kind of
good
a
at
bad
things.
job of explaining it the first time.
They did a bad job of
No,
place.
it's a little
Different
confusing to
systems.
begin
It
with.
makes no sense.
Yeah. Yeah, so then in that case, I would be using it to stabilize and heal somebody at 9 o'clock or past.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah. So then I have to roll plus stock spent, so I guess +1.
Yeah, so you can
Okay.
roll. Essentially, how it is you decide how many stock you want to spend,
Yeah.
and you get a
I'm
plus to
spending-
your roll for every stock you're spending. So if you're going to spend 1, you get a +1. If you go ahead and like spend 3, you get a +3 to your roll. It's kind of
Yeah.
leveraging how many resources you spend versus being able to do a lot better on the roll. But you only needed 1.
Got a 10 ski.
Yeah, so that's 10. Does it say what happens on a 10, or are they just?
Yeah, so I get to choose 2 from a list. On a hit, they stabilize and heal to 6. And I choose 2. So, I'm gonna say that all these are so sinister. They're at your complete mercy. What do you do to them? Like, no.
Yeah.
No. No. Okay. Their course of recovery teaches you something about your craft, mark experience. So I'm going to learn because Verula's always trying to learn, man. Like I think that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's
Maybe
taking
Carlos should
I mean,
come back as an angel.
he's never he's never like messed around with like psychic like ghost damage, so it's like no, I mean like he's never I'm sorry, they didn't teach you this shit in the Renaissance, all right.
Fair enough.
We had exorcisms, like it was
What's
you know.
wrong with psychic damage, man? Don't know psychic damage? Oh, man.
And I think also the pain and the drugs make them babble the truth to you. Ask them what secret they spill.
Okay. What secret they spill? Oh, geez. Okay. Maggie is confused about future Maggie. She doesn't understand why she is so interested in power for herself.
Okay. Got it.
All right. Okay. So with Brulo's help and Brulo taking copious notes on many things he has learned over the last hour or so, Maggie, you would have been patched up, and then given the time you had to wait and sort of recuperate a little bit before you were taken, and then also you've been unconscious for a while. So you're not exactly sure how long, but yeah, that'll put you back to 0 on
Cool,
the harm
thank you.
clock. And if anybody else had harm that was at the 3 o'clock mark or the 6 o'clock mark, those will go away. I think Maggie really
No
took
harm,
the brunt of that.
Yeah.
I mean, on both sides, let's be honest.
Yeah, yeah. That was a Maggie, a hard fight for Maggies everywhere. All right. So that all happened in the past. And I'm glad we clarified that.
Now we know.
Very good. All right, now we know.
we all learned
Now we know.
something today.
All right. So moving back to the time where you find yourselves. The 4 of you are in these small cells with one arm chained to a wall. What do you do?
Cry.
Our sweet,
Aw.
sweet boy.
Buddy.
I'm not even kidding.
If Traeger hears it, it rips through the wall. No, no.
Silent sobs. It's
Oh,
not.
silent sobbing. I was gonna ask. Okay.
I'm not yell crying or audibly, just like
Okay.
If Carla
So-
can find a hairpin, she has no experience doing this, but has maybe seen other people do it, is going to like try and pick a lock. Because why
I
not?
saw it in a movie once.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, sure. Yeah, why not? There's a couple of I think maybe Carla, you're a little disheveled, and maybe they have tried to like take literally everything from you that could be a weapon, including the pins, but kind of trapped in there in a little bit of hairspray, and is 2 hairpins that they missed.
Yes. Okay, she's going for it. She's no idea what she's doing, but she's just gonna
Okay.
shove it in a
yeah.
lock and start moving shit around.
I'm gonna have you roll. I'm gonna say plus sharp
Don't think.
to try to recall what small knowledge you might have about that one time in a movie you saw someone pick a lock.
Okay.
And try to replicate that.
Okay. Done and done. I have no sharp, but hey, we're just gonna make this happen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Where are you, Fantasy Grounds? There you are. Okay. There's a 10!
What deal did you all make in the week that I was gone?
I have no idea.
I think there was like 1 7 that's been rolled, and everything else has been 10 and above.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, okay. I think it takes you a few minutes, but I think Carla, who maybe has just a little chill in this one specific situation, calm down, pull one of these leftover pins out of your hair. It takes you a few minutes, but you sort of thinking back, thinking, I mean, it can't be that hard, right? Sort of wiggling this pin around in a lock, and after a couple of minutes, you feel it click, and it opens.
I'm assuming my glove is also gone, so no glove.
Yes,
They've taken
no glove.
Yeah. Bastards. Okay. She's just very, cautiously going to walk toward the door and see if she can see out. Is there any other cells? Are there guards? Is there anything?
Okay. Yeah, there's not really a window on the door or anything, but there is kind of a small slot about halfway through, almost kind of like a mail slot, where things could be slid into the room from outside. So you can flip it open, try to look around. It's hard to see, but you can kind of see down the edges. It's a long hallway, and there are many, many doors like these. But no people.
No people? Okay. She's gonna go back. Is it possible to close whatever had locked her up without locking it again? Just at least close it over her wrist?
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Okay, she'll do that. And then just start yelling. Hello! This is extremely rude. And I would like to speak to someone about these conditions. Hello!
All right, the other three of you here, a little bit muffled, but a very familiar Carla voice, start to yell and complain about the conditions that she is being kept in. Verulo, for you, it sounds like it's coming from the wall right to your left.
Okay.
No one answers you, Carla.
Is this a situation for a lawyer or representative of some kind? Because I demand that. I deserve it. I've worked very hard for your organization. And this is horseshit, frankly. Hello?
Do I have an attachment to my ghost?
GB, your mic's muted.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, LB.
Do I have an attachment to my ghost still?
I do not know how they would have taken those away from you. Yes, you do.
Future tech, man. They might have a headband on me or something. I don't know.
No, I think they feel very distant from you, as if there is some sort of barrier that's kind of keeping them out of your immediate vicinity.
Maggie's just going to clear her throat, making her presence known without actually saying anything.
Okay. I don't know if the other two of you hear it, but Traeger, from what sounds like the room next to you on your right, you hear somebody clear their throat.
All right. Is it a posh? Do I know it's Maggie? And when he was hearing Carla yelling, Traeger will take the chain and wrap it around his hand, put his other hand on it, and then put his feet on the wall and just try to pull the thing right out of the wall.
Okay, yeah, roll plus hard.
All right. Oops. Don't. Dice malfunction. Okay. Happens to the best of us. Oh, no. Oh.
Oh, okay, +3. Okay, yeah, that's a 7. Yeah, go aggro doesn't really work for this. Yeah, so I think you you start to pull on this chain. It is very thick and heavy. I think kind of one side of the part that's bolted to the wall starts to come loose. So you're about halfway there, but you're still attached, and it does make quite the sound when you do this. So the others of you sort of hear this loud sound of kind of metal on metal ripping sound, and also probably a loud growl. Some of you think there might be a robot bear in the cell next to you, or something, or it's probably Traeger.
Traeger? Traeger?
Yeah. What?
Oh! Oh no, I was just making sure you're here. The other's here. Hello? Maggie? Bruno? Hello?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, darling, you're so close. Maggie?
Hello.
Oh, okay. Well, we're all here. We're all live. Good. Sound off. Anyone have any ideas of where we are? What the hell is happening? Just mainly why. Just why. It's a lot of my questions.
Traeger?
And I guess in Rage Traeger's state, he'll be like, could be anything. They could have been in disguise. They could be future us. And the old smash against the chain again.
Okay, yeah, you go ahead and roll again.
There we go.
Yeah, all right. So yeah, after you say this, you give it one final good tug, and you all hear this sort of metal snapping sound as Traeger the chain comes loose from the wall.
Oh, Traeger sounds like he's getting more comfortable. That's good. What about the rest of you? Are we comfortable or still uncomfortable?
Big ol' sigh.
I see.
Are you joking? I honestly don't know anymore.
Are you comfortable like Traeger? Or are you uncomfortable? If you could see me, I'd be making the quotation hands right now, but you can't see me. Have you freed
Uncomfortable?
yourself, for God's
No!
sake?
No,
Okay.
God, no.
Oh, right.
I don't even know where to begin. I don't have my bag on me.
Drop kick against the door.
Okay. Traeger, you kick the door. It goes flying open.
Okay.
Shit.
That was too easy. Go to the next door over and try to open it.
On which side of you? I forgot who I put where.
I heard Maggie, so
Yes.
she's the only one I know is close, so I'll go to that door and try to pull it open.
You pull it open.
and he starts to less redden a bit, and he's like, "That's too easy. That was all right. Something's wrong."
Would you mind getting me out of this chain?
See what I can do. And he'll come over, and what he'll do is he'll use the link from the chain that he's got and try to use it around the bolts and try to use the link as a wrench to kind of pull the bolt out as best he can, or
Okay.
the nub of his chain to stick in and use as a pry bar to pull hers away from the wall.
Okay. Yeah, I think with both of those, after a minute, you can accomplish this fairly easily. Now
Okay.
you're free. You have a chain still hanging from your arm, but
Maggie will stand up, brush herself off, kind of wrap the chain around herself. I don't think we should run. I think we should wait for our captors.
Together.
Together.
Next door.
okay. Yeah, on the other side of you, you can open the doors. You see Verulo, still chained to the wall, and then Carla, looking chained to the wall, but.
As soon as they open the door, just enter to myself. Hello.
Kind of figured something like that would happen.
Well,
And he starts working on Verulo's chain.
Okay, yeah, you can do the same thing. After a couple of minutes, you are all free.
Is this standard operating procedure era for, I don't know, debriefings?
No, this is most likely they've figured we're our own enemies in the loops. I don't know. It's beyond me, man. Zero sharp.
Okay.
so I mean, should we attempt to at least see if we have an exit strategy? I mean, I wouldn't mind at least knowing if someone comes looking for us, we could overpower them and then get somewhere else.
And
Do you think
and
we should go
Traeger-
talk to them first? Before they come to talk to us?
That'd be fine, I imagine. If they didn't keep us knocked out or lock the doors, something's going on. But I am interested, Carla. That's pretty ingenious. Can you maybe do that for the others? I don't mind if I keep this. He's got the chain all wrapped around.
I
his
can
arm.
try. I mean, they did it in the movies. Sure. I have no idea what I did, but sure, why not? Oh boy. Okay.
Are there any
yeah.
cameras?
Yes, there are. I think if you have left your cell and are kind of looking around the hallway, every 50 feet or so, this very long hallway, there's about 4 cameras kind of interspersed along the ceiling.
We'll go back into my room, maybe. Pull us back in there so she can
Okay.
do the thing.
Yeah.
Because the door is busted open on mine. They can't lock us in.
All right, yeah. Carla, I'll have you go ahead and roll sharp one more time. I think you can replicate this. I think it's just a matter of how long it's gonna take you.
Oh, okay. Apparently a really long time, but I just leveled up. Hey.
Yay! All right, take that. Good XP. So yeah, I think who does want their chain removed? I guess Maggie for sure.
Yeah, I'd prefer it.
Yeah. Okay. Traeger, do you also want yours removed, or do you want to keep it?
I mean, if she can figure it out, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah, so I think it takes you a minute, and you lose one of your 2 hairpins in the process. About halfway through, but you are able to after a little while to get everyone free.
Sweet. See, this is easy.
Carla, I missed you.
We were unconscious for I don't know how long, but I mean, it felt like no time. I mean,
It's not what I'm. Okay.
oh, Donnie, come here! Just like grab him.
Oh, wait, don't touch. Okay.
Oh.
Don't read my mind. Don't read my mind. Don't read my mind. Don't read my mind.
I don't have. I'd have to hold you down at this point. They've taken my. Ooh, just give him a big hug.
He will reciprocate.
Okay. After a nice hug, you feel a little bit better.
I do feel a little better. Thank you.
Wait. You're all free, and Verulo's stopped crying. So what would the four of you like to do?
Traeger keeps the chains and like uses the bolts to like kind of hook them around so that we have the chains if we need them. You know, survival instinct. And he keeps one out, like wrapped up, so he can like punch with it or, you know, use it as a weapon if need be. Can't
Okay,
help
cool.
himself. And so plan was to wait.
Or we can go to
Well-
them.
Well, I assume they already know we're free.
And also, again, why would they leave the doors open and just leave us with one piddly lock on one hand? I mean, it has to be a test or something.
Or they're trying to let us escape so that they could, I don't know, make it seem like we're up to no good.
Like frame us.
Perhaps. Either way, let's go speak with someone. I don't want to stand here any longer. She'll start walking
Agreed.
down the hallway the way that she saw the people walk.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Sure.
Traeger will look at every camera and go, like, what the fuck? Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So Maggie, you take off down the hallway. Traeger sassing the cameras. You all follow, I assume. Yeah. And Maggie, you make it down to the end of this hallway, and there is a large door with a handle. You reach out and pull it open. It's open.
If I can.
Yeah, you can. It's open. It opens into another hallway that is very similar to the one you just left, and there is another door at the end.
Traeger, you mind leading the way?
Yeah, gotcha. And
Is
He
there
moves
anyone else in these cells?
Yeah.
Should I open
I
them?
was about to say.
Just can we look at
Can we
Yeah.
poke and peek through the little
Slot.
mail slots?
Yeah. You look through a few of the slots in the doors. You don't see anyone else. You don't hear anyone.
Does this look like architecture from a bunker city?
It does.
Okay.
Mhm. It
Alright.
looks to you. It looks kind of old.
Okay.
But yeah, it looks like something from your time.
Okay. Traeger, as Maggie says something about where's the other people or whatever, Traeger's like, yeah, I mean, bunker cities are crawling hives. It's usually there would be people sleeping in these halls if they could. This is weird. All right. And just try to go to another door. A bigger
Okay.
door, I guess.
Sure, yeah, there's another one at the end of the hallway. So you open the door at the end of this hallway. It opens no problem. You pull it inward and it opens to a set of stairs going up.
Give it a cursory glance, make sure there's nothing weird, you know, I guess D&D style. Look for traps. But
Sure.
then,
Yeah, you can roll to read a sitch if you want.
and that's cool or sharp?
Sharp. Oh, sharp.
Awesome. All right.
I just took a plus sharp from that level up as well. Seemed appropriate for teaching myself to pick locks.
Nope, no traps here.
Okay.
Stomp, stomp.
What happens on a miss? Okay, so there is a list of questions for read a sitch. You can ask one anyway.
Okay.
but be prepared for the worst.
Right.
So
So hit me with one.
you've got what's my best escape route, way in or way past? What enemy is most vulnerable to me? What enemy is the biggest threat? What should I be on the lookout for? What's my enemy's true position? Or who's in control here?
Ooh, okay. I will ask who's in control here.
Okay. As far as you can tell, nobody. You don't hear anything. This is strange. You've been in places like this before, maybe not necessarily places where there would be cells like this, but you recognize what it looks like, and it's quiet. It's way too quiet. Even if there were people on different floors, you'd probably be able to hear something.
Okay.
So it seems like nothing.
And he gets, the willies, and he doesn't say anything. He just plods up the stairs.
Okay. All right. So you make it up a couple of flights of stairs where you reach another door.
This time he'll listen at the door.
Okay. Yeah, you listen at the door, and you do hear sort of a couple of muffled voices, like two people, maybe like two people on the other side of the door having a conversation.
Okay.
It's hard to understand what they are saying. You rip open the door.
Fling open the door.
Okay. You fling open the door, and on the other side of the door, you see two people in full era gear, helmets, face masks, almost, I guess, reminiscent of kind of like riot police in a way, with weapons, and they stop talking to each other and pull their weapons on you.
Okay. Fellas, let's not make this ugly. And
I'm sorry, if you don't mind, I'd like to see the manager, please.
I kind of turn so it's full scar, triangle, showing like.
I have several things to talk about the conditions of this site, location, hostel, whatever this is. Who should we speak with?
Okay. I don't think they say anything. One of you, I don't care which one, roll to seduce or manipulate. If the others of you want to try to roll to help, you can do so.
Seems like that might be... Well, Maggie or I think we both get to roll weird on that one, so...
Mm-hmm.
Can I help? I'll help
Sure.
Maggie. How's that?
Yeah, you're all, you all kind of chimed in, with what you want. So we'll have Carla go ahead and roll plus your history with Maggie.
Okay, it's a 9.
Okay. So yeah, you. Excuse me, I'm gonna sneeze. So sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you adding your voice to Maggie's cry to speak to a manager. Maggie, you can roll to seduce or manipulate. You can take a +1.
Okay.
On top of her regular pluses?
Yes, on top of her regular pluses.
Cool.
Wow.
Woohoo!
That is a lot. That's a 4. That's a 14. Yeah, they. No, they'll. I don't even know that they really need a reason. You're so convincing. There's 4 of you, and 2 of them. Traeger's very scary, and you're very convincing. So yeah, I think they sort of lower their weapons, and one of them kind of motions to you to follow, and they turn around and start walking.
We follow.
All right. Sorry, I thought I was gonna sneeze again. So they lead you down a few more hallways, up a few more flights of stairs. And as you go sort of up and up, you do start to see more people. Mostly people that are dressed as they are sort of these era guards or soldiers or what have you. Some of them look to be guarding doors. Some of them are kind of walking up and down hallways. They're not really interacting with each other necessarily, because a lot of them are working. Traeger, I don't think you see anyone that reads to you as a civilian
Okay.
here. But you go up, and as you go up, following these two silent leaders, the space around you seems like it's becoming newer or more well kept, at least. And finally, they lead you down one sort of sterile looking hallway towards a door. It's got a little bit more technology on these upper floors, not just sort of chains and things. On one wall, there is one of those handprint scanners that you've seen before. One of them lays a hand on it, and the door slides open, and they kind of motion you inside.
Traeger looks, steps in.
Okay. Do the rest of you follow behind?
I'm gonna say thank you and then follow.
Okay. You tell them thank you. They both nod at you, and they start to walk off. The four of you enter this room, and the door slides shut behind you. You find yourself in almost what looks to be a lab of some sort. I don't know that most of you would recognize most of these implements or anything like that. There is, though, tech galore in here. And on the far end of this large room, sitting at a desk, seemingly working on some sort of document, there is a woman. She's wearing a lab coat. She has brown hair that is sort of streaked with silver. It's sort of pulled back in this swooping bun. She wears these sort of large glasses. She's probably, I would have to say, she's probably early 50s. To look at her, and she looks up and smiles at the four of you, and sort of puts down what she's working on, stands up, and walks around her desk and kind of leans against the front edge of it and says, "Well, you took the boring approach, and Maggie, as she speaks to you, you recognize her from the memories that the other Maggie, before she was blown away by Traeger, shared with you. There are a couple memories that you had of hers that vaguely flashed by, of her speaking with this woman."
Uh-huh. Okay. The Boren way?
Yeah, I was about to say, being chained to a wall in the middle of a compound isn't exactly boring to me.
Well, I thought the sergeant would at least shoot someone on the way, really. Oh, what a disappointing experiment.
If you'd like us to kill someone, we can.
I mean, there's plenty of breakables here. My back brain was telling me to snap all those cameras. Yeah, the violence was imminent.
I think as you say these things, she looks to Maggie, hearing that threat and hearing Traeger. I think she claps her hands together and just bursts out laughing. So, you lot have really changed.
Oh?
So, you're here. I'm here. I expect you have questions.
Why did we have syringes plunged into our foreheads and were brought here? Yes, that's probably my first question.
Oh, you're a threat, Carla. all four of you, you know what you have been running around out there doing.
But not us. It's different us.
The science is still a little out on that one. So you were brought here.
And what were we brought here for?
Observation, mostly.
Are we lab rats to you? I don't understand. You're talking about experiments and games and just for once, I'd like somebody to explain to me what the hell is going on.
You all have changed. All right. The boring way. I think she kind of gestures to one side of the room where there's like a stack of chairs. And she says, "Be a dear, Sergeant. Sit down, everyone." She walks. All right, so you all have chairs. She sits down behind her desk again, and pushes her glasses up on her nose and kind of looks pointedly at the four of you. You really don't know anything, do you?
You're making it worse, says Traeger.
We can only work with the information we're given, and the information we're given is nearly nil. So what do you expect?
True. All right. I'll tell you what I can. Hopefully it'll be more than you're used to. First off, my name is Dr. Farah Masterson. Some of the versions of you have met me. Some of them haven't. Honestly, even for someone of my superior intellect, it's getting a bit difficult to keep track. You all look so similar. I work for ERA. I did. A long time ago. Did a lot of things, lots of experiments, lots of research, all sorts of fun stuff, and I was the head of the department, the program, what have you, that developed that wonderful technology that you've all got in your necks that allows you to chase yourselves through the decades. Fun, right? I must ask, do any of you get sick when you travel, when you pop through?
Nope.
Really?
Sometimes. That might be the
Fascinating.
alcohol, though. So I don't know.
So, I've been here for a very, very long time. And, just like there are other versions of you, there are other versions of me. Which I love. What I wouldn't give to have 5 me's running around this lab conducting experiments. But we can't always get what we want. Anyway, something went awry, I suppose, with another version of me. And another version of you. You see, it's complicated. Let me try. I think she goes to one of the walls. She gets up and she's starting to get a little bit excited. And she goes to one of the walls and she lays her hand on it, sort of behind the wall behind her desk, and it lights up. And she picks up what looks like a writing implement, and she starts to draw these diagrams that start to show up on this wall. It's like a smartboard, and she's drawing lines and curves and diagrams and adding angles and numbers and all of this stuff. And she stops herself. And then she erases it all. Just, no.
Strings
How
are
to
loops,
explain?
Doc.
Both? Neither? Here. She draws one very thick line across the board and kind of circles part of it and says, "You're here." Or, "You were here. This is the moment in which everything went wrong. The moment on the timeline, because time used to be a line." And then I perfected, well, almost nearly perfected, time travel. And now it's a bit more complex, but what I can gather from the intel I've been passing through and looking at what's been happening following your moves, following the moves from the other versions of you, something went wrong. Someone weaponized what I did.
Weaponized how?
That I don't know. Still sort of trying to figure it out. But something happened, an event. And it took this one beautiful line of time and it split. And she starts drawing kind of branches off of this other line as she picks one of the lines, and they're all in different colors, and so it's kind of this, almost like this sideways kind of like root system that's coming out from this singular thick line she had drawn before, and she circles one of the lines in a different color and says, "So this is you. Now, you, this you that is in here with me, and all of the things from your current state of existence, I guess. But then there's all these other yous. But they don't just keep going on the line. They loop back on themselves, and so it's like the whole line was taken and just split into many. And now there are many of you, and there are many of me. Does that make sense?
Can we go back to right before the event that split everything and just fucking kill all of those people so it doesn't happen?
See, that's the problem. I've been trying to pinpoint where it happened so we can stop whoever it is who has done this, who has split the lines in the first place, but the problem is now the lines are split, and the lines are split going all the way back. All the way back to the beginning of time, the Big Bang, whenever it all started. And there are so many of them that we have to figure out which line took the event with it.
I see. Do you know how many of these new lines there are?
No idea.
Shit.
Are new lines still being created?
I don't know.
Shit.
What do we know?
Well, I do know that in one of these lines, you all, definitely not you all, they use the bad ones. There's 3 of you now, from what I can gather, happened in 62, I think you came here from. One of you is dead now. There. But those 3 of you, those other yous, the masks, the gold paint, the nonsense. I'm really just guessing, so, don't take my word as gospel or anything, although many, many scientists have in, I guess, the past, present, and future now. They are trying to get rid of the rest of you. So when the timeline split, you split, we all split into many different parts of ourselves, different versions of ourselves, and they're you, but you're you, but they're slightly different you, but then there are other yous that are more different, less different. I think they want to be the only yous.
Does that help with the split, or do they just
Well, it
think
helps them.
It does? because of their plans or because of time?
Well, those versions of yourselves have become immensely powerful.
Wait. When they off other versions of themselves, they become more powerful?
They could, but the timeline that those versions, the apotheosis versions of yourselves, where they exist, they have incredible power. You saw them. I know you've seen them. I know you've encountered them. They're much more powerful than you are. And if they want to keep becoming more powerful, they need you to not stop them.
They want to be the prime versions of us.
Sure.
Is there, assuming that we don't have any ability to stop this time break, can we at least shut off these branching timelines, prune the dead leaves, as it were?
That's what I've been working on. I think it's possible if... I don't know how long it would take, and you all sort of have targets on your backs. Now, other versions of you didn't put up quite the fight, I think, that you did in Vegas. Cracking work, Traeger, by the way. You must let me observe you. Fascinating the way this manifests over the different yous. But I think if we can get you back to when the event happened, if we can find the timeline, if I can send you through to, I guess, essentially the start of the apocalypse, if you can stop it, then all of the timelines merge back together. Maybe. That's sort of a working hypothesis.
Throw
All
the
right.
bet,
Do you have a general idea of when that was?
Well, I know when the event happened. I know when it's written in history. I mean, Traeger, you know our history. So we know when it happened. The problem is I don't know the line on which it happened. So unless we can find a way to figure that out, we're going to have to find a way to just get you into the different lines, like your other selves are doing. If we can recreate what they're doing and I can send you across the lines instead of just parallel on this one, then you can hop through, check all of them, right? Boom, boom, boom. Find the right one, fix it, and whew, maybe all the lines go back together.
Or just fix all of them just in case.
The problem is I don't know how many there are.
Oh.
A few have stuck out. The ones at Apotheosis come from this one with you, giving them a run for their money, I have to say. So I can try. I can try to send you to other timelines, and you can try to find other me's, I guess, or other yous.
Okay, but once we have located said us or you, I mean, eliminate, capture, bring back, what are we doing with them?
I suppose that's up to you, Sergeant.
I mean...
The point is to stop the event from happening. I don't know what will happen if the timelines come back together and what was split is not all there. We're going to have to figure it out because you are down at least one Maggie.
Oh. Oh. Right.
It could be fine. Could be totally fine.
Trigger doesn't like. Could be fine. All right.
Could be fine. There's enough out there that when it all sort of collapses back in on itself, maybe it won't miss that bit.
Sure, maybe that's just like her pinky toe, and it's just the pinky toe, and you could survive without a pinky toe, right?
It very well could be a pinky toe. It very well could also, be like a major part of her personality that she would be missing and become a completely different person when all the lines collapse back in on themselves. But I have no
I'm gonna go with the
no
pinky toe.
evidence for that.
Yeah, we'll go with pinky toe theory on that one.
Whatever makes you feel better.
All right, Doc.
So that's where I'm at.
Is there recording devices in our vicinity right now?
Oh,
Are you
most certainly
recording?
I record everything.
Okay. Well, if there's a way to stop that, we should maybe have a code, because the next time I see Arab people, I just might shoot first. And so maybe we, the real we, should have some way of identifying each other.
If you insist. I mean, technically all of you are the real you. You're also not. She kind of loses herself for a minute and she just sits there thinking.
All right, hey, whoa, let's focus on the mission. What?
Oh, trust me, I have been. For a very, very long time. Alright, I'll turn it off. I think she sort of brings up a little display on her desk and hits a few buttons. Alright. You're dark. What do you want? A safe word or?
Maggie, what were those flowers that I crushed when I landed at your house? Those purple ones.
I don't know.
Hmm.
What flowers did you crush at my house?
They were
When I
begonias.
landed. Yeah, okay, perfect. I did like a 3-point hero landing and then stood up, but I was in the flower bed at the time, so.
My begonias!
Right.
My begonias.
All right, my begonias are the catchphrase. Can everybody remember that? I picked something that I could remember because, well, I'll be the one shooting the rest of you. So can we all remember that?
Begonias are actually quite tasty. You could put them in a salad. They're reminiscent of like green apples, actually. Yes, I can remember that. That's fine.
Alright. Alright, she presses the buttons just turn the recording back on. So yeah, that's where we're at. Questions? More questions?
At this point, I'm not sure any question I ask would lead to anything else other than 5 more questions. So I am just willing to follow everybody's best judgment.
I think as you say this, she kind of leans out. She's come back around her desk and she leans down and is very close to you and is looking at you and says, "Fascinating. How long has he been like this?"
Like what exactly?
Jaded, darling. How long has he been like this?
Ooh, since I got back,
Interesting.
at least the past 24 hours or so.
I've been watching so many of you. It's fascinating to me seeing how you grow and change. Anyway, questions.
How different are all the me's?
Well, it sort of depends. The alcoholism and the drug abuse does sort of carry over to quite a lot of them.
Well.
There is one sober you, which was fascinating.
Oh, wow. Really?
Oh yeah,
Completely?
she's dead now.
Oh. Well, if there was any reason to continue. Well,
So, how do we get back to this specific time? Or are we always coming back to this time when we come back, as far as you know.
As far as I know. As far as I know, you haven't left your own lines.
But the Apotheosis people know how to jump lines, because they've
Exactly.
entered our line.
So we just need to capture an apotheosis person and oh well. Would you have any reason to go to the front lines? Any of the yous? That is, Doctor.
I mean, it's difficult to say. I mean, I suppose there's a timeline with every possibility. If you could find a me, if you could find their me,
Yes,
maybe
exactly.
I would know. I hadn't thought of that.
Yes, I mean, I'm assuming they didn't come up with it on their own. It had to be their you that gave them the information. So if we could get their you, then we would know how to jump the lines.
Well, the implications of that are quite troubling, because if they are relying on their version of me, that means...
You're a traitor.
Yes.
It's just one
Okay.
version of you.
Also, we did capture one of their communicators.
You did?
Yes, it's in with my stuff. I have mine,
Ah.
and I have Ronald's.
Oh, that's right. You ripped it straight out of his neck. I forgot. Yes.
Oh, and his communicator.
Right.
Interesting. The implications of this are so far-reaching. I will have to get your things. Oh, I don't think they're going to let me do that.
Maggie's gonna lean over to Carla. Do we know she's telling the truth? Did you search her brain?
They have my glove, so you'd have to hold her down. Or, well, I mean, could be interesting to be with her, but no, it's probably easier to just hold her down. Or we can wait until she gives me back my glove, and then I can just, do it the old-fashioned way.
She just said she wasn't giving back Traeger's stuff, right? Or doesn't
She
have-
said... yeah, she said she'd have to go get your things, as she wasn't sure if they would let her.
I could ask her to do it willingly, so we can make sure she's telling the truth.
Go on.
Doctor, it's not that we don't trust you, it's that, well, we don't fucking trust you, so, it would be alright with you. Can I read your brain?
An interesting proposal. You could, if I was here.
Sorry?
Reach out and try to touch her?
You try to touch her, your hand goes right through her.
Holograms. Traeger says that under his breath. God damn holograms.
No offense, I mean... I don't really trust you either. And Traeger scares the ever-living out of me, so...
Oh, I
No
understand.
offense, Sergeant.
None taken.
Well, I guess that sort of brings the game to an end, then. Disappointing. I can assure you, everything I told you was absolutely the truth.
Maggie
This
would
is
like
just
to
an
use her ghost to
experiment.
find her.
Maggie, what?
Maggie would like to use her ghost to find her. Now
Okay.
that she has
Uh,
more spread out.
Yeah, go ahead and roll plus weird. Y'all are very good at this game, huh?
Yeah, earlier we were like, it was a Mr. Gratz. Is that what we just sign here on the line for good dice rolls? Is
Yep,
that how that goes?
Obviously. Yep.
Praise be.
All
Praise
right.
be God.
All right. Yeah. So you now you concentrate and you sort of reach out to your followers. And though you have done quite a bit of walking, quite a bit of stair climbing, and have moved a lot in this, they do not seem to be any closer to you.
What have you done with my friends? My companions?
Oh! Yes. Oh, nothing! Nothing. They're just, outside. Mina wasn't going to let an entire army, as it were, into my lab. Like you said, you don't trust me. There's only one of me, and, you know, the sergeant counts as at least 5, and you've got, what, 30, 40 at your disposal? You're very smart, Maggie. So am I.
She kind of just sighs.
Well, it is unfortunate they wouldn't let me let you out. But now you know what to do. You know what you're looking for, what sort of. I should turn this off. And she goes back around to her desk and presses a few more buttons and turns the recording devices off again and says, "So, you should come find me. When, well, if, I suppose. We'll have confidence today, Farah. Come on. When you get out."
Where are you?
That is not something I'm comfortable saying out loud. You'll know. But you're going to have to trust me.
How do we get out of here?
Hopefully, this time, the fun way. And she presses a couple more buttons on her desk, and everything around you starts to shimmer, this kind of light blue glow. And she says, bye-bye now. Have fun. Don't die. And if you make it out, you'll know where to find me. Ta! And she, along with the room, disappears, and the 4 of you find yourselves in a singular cell. Larger than, but very, very similar to the one that you found General Lysander in. Way back in Athens.
Why is it that everybody who wants us to help them is playing games with us? And I am not jaded.
Oh, darling,
Frustrated.
compared to the fresh-faced little person that we met before, yes, of course you're jaded. It's a part of growing up. It's fine. I'm jaded as hell.
And Traeger like looks at it and says, "How old are you?"
Verulo hesitates. Rod
I
checks his
checked
nose.
my character sheet.
Make it up. Just make it up.
About 20, like early
Okay.
20s, like really
He's
young.
like-
yeah.
He's like, "Well, at least you had those 20 years. I guess I've been being manipulated the whole life. So,
Darling, I'm nearly a decade older than you. You twat.
hey, she knows what she wants."
She'll just like come up and she'll like literally like pinch your cheek like an old Thea. Be like, "You're such a baby. Oh, our baby's jaded. Oh."
As the
hate
as the
this.
4 of you are having this conversation and embarrassing your angel, who is the only one who can heal you on the battlefield.
I'm taking notes, bitches.
It's all meant with love.
You hear a sound from outside your cell with these that has these glowing bars across the front of it. And it is this loud sort of thud, and then a second one as a person comes falling in front of the door. An Era guard, you would assume, who's been stationed outside your cell, falls unconscious outside the cell, and there is a moment of silence, and then from a small sort of panel in the wall inside, you hear a clicking sound, and it opens up, and there is a note just sitting there. I assume you go to look at it. You pick it up and read it, and it says, "You're welcome. Good luck. Your stuff is in 12B. It's just signed Dr. F.
Doc F says, good luck. 12B. That's where our stuff is. And check the door.
All right, so you go to check the door. You know from your experience with these that if you can manage to finagle it, there is a wonderful unconscious handprint laying right in front of you that can be used to open it. So you've done this before, and I'll assume you do it again, where you manage to very carefully reach through the glowing bars, pick up this guard's hand, and lay it on the pad. And as you let him fall, the bars flicker for a moment and go out. And you can all step out into the hallway, and as you begin to make your escape, that is where we're going to go ahead and end our session for the day. A lot of stuff happened today. Boy howdy. You've learned a lot about ourselves, about each other. Thank you guys so much. That's okay. It is no problem. Luckily, everything I said was recorded. So yeah, no, it's no problem. But yeah, thank you guys for playing with me. And a lot of stuff was said that was, I think, our one really big like information dump. So we, we'll discuss it and make sure that everyone is sort of clear on what you would know and what your characters would know. Well done, everybody. And thank you, everybody, so much for watching and hanging out with us. Really quickly, let's do our session end stuff so we can knock around some history scores and see if anybody gets any more XP. So at the end of every session, everyone will choose a character who knows you better than they used to. If there's more than one, you can pick at your whim, and they'll add +1 history to their sheet. If no one knows you better, you can choose a character who doesn't know you as well as they thought, and they will subtract from their history. Does anybody know who they want to pick?
I mean, Barillo asked Maggie that one question.
Yeah, there's that.
Secret.
Yeah, I totally found out more than...
Is that your final answer?
All right, so Barillo marked +1 with Maggie.
I'd say Traeger knows me much better. I'm very much willing to carve into his flesh if necessary. So yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That's
okay,
fair.
So +1 with Carla.
Yes, +1 with Carla for you. All right, Traeger and Barillo. Better? Who knows you better or worse?
Carla asked me how old I am. I don't know, man.
Sure. I'll go with that.
Yeah.
Carla has now explained to you a valuable part of growing up. It's just becoming a jaded adult.
Feel good. True, too true. When I created Verulo to be this age, I wanted to relive the glory days where I didn't hate everything. But here we are. Character development has just created Rob 2.0.
Welcome to my dungeon.
Autism.
If I can't kill you, I'll at least make you a cynic.
You've turned Virilo into my worst enemy, myself.
Oh no!
All right. So then,
I'm gonna-
Carla, mark +1 with Verulo, and then, yeah, Traeger.
I'm gonna say Maggie because I think Traeger threw her for a loop by shooting her and continuing to shoot her through through the firefight.
Yeah. That does push me over.
Hey.
Okay. Yeah, so you will reset to +1 with Traeger, and then mark an XP with Maggie. All right.
Okay.
Any final words?
Made another level. Woo woo!
Also, I feel like time is stringy, right?
Things time stringy. Yeah.
Time is officially stringy.
Time at something.
Time's officially stringly. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I made it stringy.
Time's whack.
It's pretty whack. Yeah,
whack.
a little bit of strings, a little bit of loops, a little bit of wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I just play one on TV. All right. With that, thank you one more time. Thank you all so much for playing with me. I hope you're still having a good time. And thank you everyone out there in the chat for hanging with us. We're so glad you're here every week. We'll be back 1 week from today. Sunday, whatever that day happens to be, the 14th, because I can do math, at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll be back to, I guess, see how The Great Escape turns out. And we will see what our heroes have planned next for their time jumps. So we'll do sign-offs now. I am Savvy, at Savvy Seaworth on all of the social medias, the MC for this game. Find me on Twitter. I always tweet about what I'm doing. And I mostly stream at twitch.tv/game nights. It's 2 G's in game and a K in nights. The next thing I'm doing is tomorrow night at 8 p.m. I'm playing in a one-shot, and then you can, most days, I'm streaming on that channel. That's what I do. Come hang out.
It's me, bonus stage Rob, and you're all in my burn book now. Maggie Wells is a Grotsky bitch, and Carla O'Dwyer made out with a hot dog. Anyway, you can find me at twitch.tv/bonus_stage_Rob.
Someone
where
clip that, please. Anyway,
where I'm just playing games and being me. Like I said, these all just happen in the moment. It's a thing. So if you want like 2 to 3 hours of whatever this is, go check it out. It's a good time. We have a lot of giggles and laughs. I'm playing Doom. I'm Traeger this week, and I'm killing shit with all the guns. It's been a lot of fun. It has been a lot of fun. So yeah, and I eventually turn up on TTRPG streams like this. So yeah, you can follow me on all the things. Bonus Stage Rob. It's a good time. LB.
Hi, I'm LB Hackemup. You can find me at LB Hackemup on the Twitters. I do a lot of retweeting of things that I'm in, so find me there. Yeah. I would say bad things about Verulo, but I'm not like that. I know secrets, okay? I know secrets.
hey, she hides them in her hair.
You know, I
why our
still
hair is
have
so big.
Her hair
one
is
help
full
or
of
hinder for Maggie.
Me
So
too. Yeah, so follow me on and then yeah, after this you can find me on Pro Restar's channel. I have to take care of work stuff again, so I will be a little late to that, but yeah. GB go.
Graybeard at Graybeard's Tavern. Check out the Twitter. That's where all the schedule and all the wonderfulness is. And come by on Sunday mornings for lots of fun with, all my fun toys because I love them, and sometimes there's crossbows, and now I've got little javelins that Strahd gets killed with too. So anyway, check me out. The next thing I think I'm technically really in is Wednesday. I think is the beginning of Pro Restarters. I'm in Stars Without Numbers as as kind of a space captain kind of deal. Actually,
Aren't you running
I'm not
Tuesdays?
really the what?
Aren't you
Not that I
running
know
Tuesdays?
of. Oh, I am actually running Tuesday's game. Duh. See, glad you're here. I'll be running. Not.
I'll be almost had a heart attack. Like, wait, what?
I'll be running. Hey, it's payback because I always am
There's
like
no
it's
rules.
Apocalypse World that you're playing.
Yes, you better prepare something, GB.
Yeah, no, we're working on it. I'll be running Not Curse of Strahd on Tuesday on Indoors channel. I'm there usually on Monday nights in the chat. So we will be running a turf war for D&D. Bad. They'll be playing evil characters. Little Hobbit gang sign. So check us out at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time over there. Next up, and then Damn It Barry's channel, and then on Pro Restarter. So check them out. Carla.
Hey, I am Christina Sid. I am at Greek Sid on the Twitter. You can find me here on Sundays. Woot! You can also find me over at Femsplainedcast on Tuesdays doing Neverland 5e. I had to work last Tuesday Prime, which was very sad, and I am still catching up on what the hell happened, but it apparently involved some mushrooms that should not have been eaten. I'm very excited. You should catch up on it too when I do. But yeah, I'll be there on Tuesday as well. Neverland as an RPG. It's fun. And then hopefully we'll have some more info about the new channel Artisy RP coming up soon as well. So just check out my Twitters.
All right. Well, one more big thank you to the four of you for playing in this game with me. A joy, as always. And we'll talk and get the time travel straightened out. No big deal. Thank you, everyone who hung out with us in the chat. And then if you're watching this on YouTube, come find us. Twitch.tv/EncounterRoleplay on Sundays at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And we'll see you next time, time travelers. Bye, everybody.
Bye!